Welcome to the Ultra Street Fighter 4 World Warriors of Capcom Cup Player Showcase Series. I'm Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. This is a series of videos to talk about the 16 players who are going to show up at Capcom Cup 2014 on December 13th at the Warfield in San Francisco. It is going to be one of the most epic Street Fighter 4 tournaments ever. You can watch it on twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. Subscribe to the channel so you'll see exactly when it starts up, because you do not want to miss this event.
The 16 players who are going to be there qualified in one of a couple different ways. You can win an automatic qualifier. There were 10 of those.
Yes.
Win a big tournament, you're automatically in. The other 6 got there by garnering points. Those points were handed out to people who did well at tournaments throughout the world and over the course of the last year. And there were 6 of those.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about one of the players who did qualify in that second way by points. Talk about Shen.
That's right. And it's very interesting because the tournaments in Asia kind of came towards the end of the year a little bit. And so for the first half of the Capcom Pro Tour, I remember Shen wasn't really in the running for points. But then as the event started rolling in from Asia, he just picked up so many points. And pretty much by the time it was like maybe the last 2 events in Asia, he was a guaranteed shoo-in to get in.
He was already locked. Yeah, exactly. Shen has been doing well in Street Fighter 4 since kind of earlier in the series. He's gone through a couple of different characters. He started out with Dalsum, actually.
Yes,
but
that's right.
You know, he really made his name with Gen.
And that is the character that he used to win Evolution 2013. So obviously, very high caliber player here, capable of winning one of the biggest tournaments. You know, at the year that he won it, it was the biggest, you know, Street Fighter 4 tournament ever.
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
it wasn't just that tournament though. That year he won a bunch of different things. He traveled all over North America, traveled all over Asia, and he did great. He won a lot of things. And this year, you know, he hasn't won quite as many tournaments, hence not having, you know, qualified automatically. But in his last 8 tournaments, which includes Evo, where he didn't get top 8, but he did very well still. I think he was 17th.
Yes.
He got top 8 in all of the other tournaments that he's been to. He won 1, he got a couple of second places, so he's still up there.
Yeah, an interesting fact about Evolution, even though he got 17th place, he was still the only player at that tournament to have defeated Luffy. Because remember, Luffy was in the loser's bracket at the start of top 8. Who put him there was Shen.
Fun fact, he is one of only 2 people in the entire world in the last 4 months who has beaten Luffy in a big tournament.
That's very true.
That's pretty good. That's nice to note.
Yeah.
Nice to know. So what are we going to be looking for out of Shen's playstyle?
You know what? It's really interesting. Like every time I watch Shen play, the first thing that comes to my head is just technical ability. Whether this is just understanding his character, the science of his characters, like knowing the proper punishes and all these things, but also just execution. I talked about, I want to talk about like how Gen is one of the highest execution characters with the hand slap, FADC, and all these things like that. And he pulls them off pretty flawlessly. I mean, it's shocking to me when I see him drop a combo. You know, I mean, that's how consistent he is. And yeah, I just feel like his technical ability is really strong. He's a very aggressive player. He's got great setups, great mix-ups, good offense as well. So
I definitely agree. We're going to watch him play again, but he does also play a Poison nowadays. And one of the cool things I think about that is that he doesn't play the same style that he plays with Gen. He plays a little more of a mid-range game. I mean, his footsies are good, but with Poison he plays more mid-range. So he's not this kind of one-trick offensive pony, which I think is great.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting because, you know, the match that we're going to watch, he's going to be going up against Punko. And Punko, very well known for being extremely, you know, offensive and just rush, attack, mix-up kind of pressure.
Right.
And even though that's how Seth is supposed to play, we're going to kind of see how Shen actually gets to do a lot of the offense in this matchup. So, yeah.
Want to hop on into it then?
Sure, let's do it. All right. This is at the CPT Asia qualifiers.
In Korea.
In Korea, yeah.
Exactly.
So there was a lot of events that let you qualify to go into the CPT Asia finals.
Right, where only one player qualified, but there were a bunch of qualifiers for that qualifier.
Right, exactly.
And this is one of them.
Yep. And so immediately you can see Shen, he jumps forward a lot too.
He does. Gen has a really quick jump, and with two different jump angles, it's a bigger threat than most characters have in the air. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he definitely wants to be going in, and he wants to get his offense started. What thing that I noticed that he does a lot is that he will back off to a certain spot where he feels like he can approach more comfortably, and then use that to get right back in. He did that there. That's how he got this little pressure series started.
And you saw right there, it was just one combo. He touched him one time, led to this nice combo, immediately into one more mix-up, and that was it. It was death. And again, just perfect execution of that combo. Like, we could probably count how many times he drops a combo in this entire series.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just going to be like 1 or 2 times. But see,
it's kind of unfortunate for Punko because he sort of has to play. It's bad for him if Gen gets in. Mm-hmm. That's one of those sort of matchups for Seth. So Seth's trying to play this mid range, but you'll see as soon as Shen gets a chance, you see those stand jabs just like that. Other people might have thrown and it might have been teched, but Shen gets the full combo and did this whole pressure again.
Yeah, and he's really good at frame traps. I'm going to say that.
He really
he's
is.
really, really good at this up close game. Like we said, he has a very good offensive pressure. Yeah, never gave Seth the chance to breathe and immediately gets the victory on that first one like that. So
the thing about his understanding of frame traps is that it's not just him doing the frame traps when he has success. He is really good at sticking out buttons in between other people's frame traps. You'll notice this. He sticks out a crouching strong into hands when other people are trying to do some sort of frame trap business, or he'll do jabs and turn it into something.
Right.
So he has a really good understanding of that little. Frame traps are mostly about a timing thing.
Right.
When people want to hit buttons, he has a great understanding for when that is.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're going to see that a lot. There's going to be times where Punko has like a block string or like pressure going, and then all of a sudden Shin just turns it around just like that. Because he's not afraid to hit buttons. Shin is not afraid to hit buttons. So let's keep going with this matchup here and see how they go in this next game. You see Punko already getting a little frustrated.
Yeah, that was Shen sitting on the right there.
Yep. Like I said, the interesting thing is, in a game where you're not really supposed to jump a lot, Shin does jump a lot.
I think that's one of the things Gen can do. That's one of the real strengths of his character.
All right, so here's this corner pressure here, and right there, just in the middle of that sequence.
Well, but see, he knows this. That is unsafe.
Okay.
And it's not unsafe by a ton, but it's enough that he knows if he hits a jab, he can turn it into something.
Yep.
So that's one of the things we talked about, where he knows all those little punishes, all the data.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the breed of scientists in this game. He studies this game a lot. He's a very young player. Oh, see right there. See,
right, that's what we're talking about. He sticks in those buttons.
Just in the middle of the offense, he just kind of he said, you know what, I'm just going to throw out fierce.
Right.
And it hit, and it worked.
He knew it.
Yep. But again, like I said, Shin, very scientific player, does a lot of studying, plays largely through setups and through understanding punishes and traps. All right.
Well, it's time for him to play defensively now. Let's see how he handles it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say about Shin is his defense is probably not as strong as a lot of other players that will be in this series, like, for example, like a Bonchan or something like that. So he can get a little, he can get rushed down every once in a while. And one of the reasons might be because he likes to hit buttons a lot. And you see Punko just catching him in the middle of a lot of stuff.
That was pretty cute. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, and then immediately just turning it around.
Yeah, one more hit. Oh, okay, nice. But if that had been one more hit, that he wouldn't have died, but he would have been real close. That's Seth we're talking about.
Yeah, not much Shin can do in that situation. But again, he had enough meter, he had enough resources that if he had just landed one more hit, he could have turned that round immediately. He could have 180'd it right there.
Oh yeah.
But Punko got that good SPD in there. So delayed wake up. Knocks him down, but you see he just goes in there, reckless abandon.
Is that a setup, or was he just jumping in? It's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
Well, it's like you said, with the two different modes, he jumps different distances, so maybe, it's confusing. It's hard to tell if he's going to get over you or stay in the front. But see there, he tried an anti-air. Again, very, very active kind of player. Very buttonsy kind of player.
Oh, see, he knows that close fierce is unsafe, and he's going to take the game on it. Not just the round even, but that whole game. That could have been so different if Punko just hadn't pressed fierce.
Yeah, just look at this. Look at this situation right now. Like at one point, Punko gets in there with that dive kick, and boom, and things are all going Punko now, right? It feels like this is all Punko. But as soon as he does this, right there, that was it.
He lost. Shen does not let those go.
Yeah.
He will punish that. I feel like that's one of the things that he has that a lot of players, maybe not a lot, but that some players lack. Mm-hmm. You know, that close fierce doesn't necessarily look like it's unsafe, right? I mean, you have to know that it's unsafe. Same with the fierce and the sonic boom in the corner early.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily look unsafe, but if you've done your homework, then you'll know.
And not only that, too, but I feel like there's something in Xian's DNA that lets him do low strong hands into super or low strong hands into FADC, because he just never misses that. It is very impressive to see what he can do.
Yeah, even on top of the execution that takes, his reactions are really good. You'll see that a lot, that he'll get things like stand strong, counter hit into sweep, or immediately seeing crouching strong hands go into super.
Right. Yeah, see, again, Shen neutral jumping in the corner, just hitting buttons, trying to fight a lot of the times.
And that's why that stand medium kick from Seth hit him right there. He was trying to do stuff. And, obviously in the long run, during the set, him doing stuff pays off. But that's the potential downside.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk a little bit about the fact that he does have trouble against grappler characters, for example, which you can't be too offensive against. But then against other characters, especially against players whose defense are not particularly strong, if he can overwhelm you, that is how Xian tends to win his games. And he does have, and he can go to shenanigans every once in a while. Oh, yeah. He has a lot of little off-the-wall tricks, Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he did that.
Yeah, but he's got like these nice cross-up, off-the-wall dive kicks and, little mix-ups there.
He can just do wake-up sweep. And that wake-up sweep has turned into all of this and one more setup potentially for the win. No, okay, it's not going to happen. But that was very close.
I don't know if the wake-up sweep is intentional. Might have been a missed uppercut. I don't know. Maybe. But if it was intentional, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But again, Shen, he's been all around the world. He's played so many places now. One of the big advantages that he really does have is that, he is so accustomed to traveling and playing in all sorts of environments. He's been to Europe. He's played a bunch there. He's obviously played in Asia a bunch of times. He's come to the U.S. to play in a bunch of tournaments.
A bunch. Canada, all over the place.
All right.
Well, it's time for him to play D, I was just going to say.
And see, this is
didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, it's a good example of his ability to get rushed down a little bit. But that's the thing, is if you're this kind of player, if you're an offensive player, you never let that get to you.
Right.
You understand that that's just something that's going to happen, and Shen is not the kind of person that's going to let that get to him.
Yeah, it's the play style. It's kind of a over the long haul sort of game plan. Over the long haul, you're going to play your offense more than the opponent's going to play theirs.
Yeah.
And that's the idea.
Yeah, Shen is definitely a very aggressive defensive player. He wants to shift momentum instantly. He's not willing just to wait for his chance. He's going to try to take that chance and go, look at this crazy rush down. Just relentless. And then you see how after the hand slap, watch, I'm going to go back here really quick. After Punko blocks the hand slaps in the corner, Shen just walks for like a fourth of the screen. Watch right here. Look at this. He just like walks right in there. He doesn't care. Oh no. Yeah, it's a bad.
Kind of hung himself there.
Yeah. The Shen
on
is
the right.
Definitely not afraid to go on the offensive. And again, I have not seen him miss a combo yet.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Everything that he's been wanting to do, he gets. And a lot of times, like, you'll see the waterfall kick not complete. He does that on purpose. He's got a lot of safe jump setups off of those. Yeah, now he's going to try to get in. But yeah, see, after the tandem engine.
And I love that, because in the previous tandem engine, Punko did fierce DP, right? And forcing the block. And the very next time, Shen, he figured out the little mix-up there. Took advantage of it.
Yep. So he gets
coming up here.
Oh, right? I don't care. It's going to go right in there. Yeah, you can see right now, he's stocked on a whole bar of super right now. Any touch could probably equal death. Okay.
Big threat.
Yeah. And you can see now, like, it's a little suffocating in a way.
Well, I love what he was doing just before this, where he was, he was playing at mid-range because he knew that super was a big enough threat that he didn't really need to go in. But it could all change right now. Ooh, I like that read, but it did not pay off. And then he comes in with the super unorthodox, very rarely seen EX roll.
Very slow roll as well. So,
right.
I mean, the interesting part about that whole entire thing, a lot of the times when you get into a situation where you have that 1 pixel of life to drain from the enemy, people who try too hard to chip them to death can usually be read pretty easily, and it's really easy to blow them up when they do that. So a lot of the times you see a lot of top players when they have that little pixel left, they start playing carefully. They try not to deviate from their game. But Shen, like we said, very aggressive, very in your face. And so as soon as he had the opportunity to get the chip, he's like, let me use this move I haven't used at all, ever.
All right, yeah.
And just go in right there. And, you know, there was like, you saw too, Punko like walked back for a second, was like deer in headlights for half a second.
Yeah,
it was like, huh, and then he died.
Right, yeah.
So.
Well, you mentioned, I think, one of the downsides to his style, and that's confronting somebody like a Zangief sort of character that has the tools that make that kind of offense hard, and make that hard to play. And in fact, that character in particular, grapplers in particular, have been a big problem for Shen over the last, since EVO, where he was eliminated by grappler, and in other tournaments too.
Yeah,
eliminated by grapplers.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about what Shen is doing now, so in the year of 2013, that was kind of the year of Shen, right? Yeah. So he won a bunch of events there. He was Gen and only Gen.
Right.
Right? And then all of a sudden, now in Ultra Street Fighter 4, he's been picking up a lot of characters. We mentioned that he's used Poison before. I think he plays a little bit of Volento every once in a while. And so he's definitely trying to expand his repertoire to be able to help in some of these counter matches.
I feel that if he wants to deal with grapplers, that's not really the best choice.
Right. Those two characters are not...
But I still like what that says, that he is going back to other characters or going to new characters and really trying stuff out. You know, he's kind of hit a roadblock when it comes to some of those matchups, and so he's trying to find what he can do to get around it, which is a great sign.
And that's what we said too. He's a very scientific player, understands matchups, does all the research. So, you know, look, 2013 is the year of Shen, right? Yeah. And 2014 he hasn't been as successful. But Shen's version of not as successful is still like one of the best players like in the world. He had a fantastic year. So I am expecting him to be, you know, you just don't want to fight him. You don't want to fight him at Capcom Cup because I just think that, his character knowledge and the amount of research that he does is just going to make him a really tough opponent to fight.
Of course, yeah, he's going to be one of the tough ones. He has to be on everybody's list, I think, of top 10 players in the world right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So.
Well, okay, so just to remind you, December 13th at the Warfield in San Francisco. That's where Capcom Cup will be. It would be great if you could come. If not, you can watch it live too.
Yep, twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. Again, subscribe to that, and so you can get the notifications, and also just so you can see all the events on Capcom Fighters. And you're not going to want to miss this. 16 amazing players from all around the world. It's really exciting.
And if you like listening or watching analysis like this of fighting games, you can head over to our channel, which is youtube.com/UltraChenTV or twitch.tv/UltraChenTV, where we do these kind of analysis vids, but we also have news and goings-on in fighting games.
Yeah, and we definitely try to cover all sorts of skill levels. We have shows that garner towards beginners. We have shows that garner towards people trying to go from casual to like tournament level play. So we try to cover all the topics.
That's right. All right, well, looking forward to seeing Xian at Capcom Cup. We'll see you there.